Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the verse yuga-dharma pravartana nāma-saṅkīrtana charu bhāva-bhakti diyā nācāmu bhuvana, it is said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to flood all world by the four rasas. And on the based of these verses, some devotees think that this is not proper to think that our sampradaya is mentioned only for developing Madhurya-rasa, and that the Ishtadev or of our sampradaya is only Radha and Krishna. And the example of this, Gopa Kumar in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and
is Gopa Kumar in our sampradaya?
I don't know. And in Jaiva-dharma, example of Vrajanath, can you explain how to properly understand these verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikait Dale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah. So, here there is a description of the effect of the yuga-dharma. Yuga-dharma, pravartaimu, nāma-saṅkīrtana, cāri, bhāva-bhakti and nācāmu bhuvana. So, the establishment of the yuga-dharma is not the main external reason. It's a secondary reason. So, those who will take up the yuga-dharma and Vaidhi bhakti, they can go to Mahavaikuntha, they can go to Golok, they can be in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya or Madhurya there. But Mahaprabhu's, the primary purpose is Anarpita charim chirat karunaya vartinaha kalo samarpaitum unnata ujjvala rasa swabhakti sriyam. Which part of unnata ujjvala rasa is not Madhurya? Understand? Which part of ujjvala? Unnata. Unnata means the most elevated. Ujjvala rasa means not Madhurya rasa. Ujjvala rasa means, because there's Madhurya rasa, we can say in a general sense, the Sadarni Rati of Kubja in Mathura, and the Samanjasa Rati of Rukmini and Satyabhama in Dwarka. It's Madhurya rasa, we can say, but it's not Ujjvala rasa. Ujjvala rasa, even the Swakiya Bhav of Radha and Krishna in Golok is Madhurya rasa, but it's not Unnata Ujjvala rasa. Yeah? So, in this verse from the Rupa Goswami part, from the Vidagdha Madhav of Rupa Goswami part, and which is there in the very beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, to establish Mahaprabhu has his own primary and secondary internal reasons, and he has his own primary and secondary external reasons. So establish the yuga-dharma, send persons, whatever, to Vaikuntha or Mahavaikuntha, Golok. This is one thing, fine. But he has some primary external purpose, and that is samarapaitum unnata ujjvala rasam swabhakti sriyam. So, the Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, these are not, they have no adhikar. persons in those moods have no adhikar for Radha Krishna's unnat ujjvala ras lila. Sakhi bina ei lila pushti nahi hai. Sakhi bina vistarila sakhi ashwadai. Only the sakhis, only those in Madhurya-rasa, they have adhikar. Dasya vatsalya adi rasa na hoya gochar. Radha Krishna Brajalila ati gudata. Dasya vatsalyadi rasa na hoya gochar. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, the pastimes of Radha Krishna are extremely confidential, and those are in Dasya and Vatsalya and other moods, they have no adhikar for this. So, this is the primary reason that Mahaprabhu appeared, which is external, that means just for others. Is there any doubt about it? Then, the next point. We are not saying that, oh, some devotee will not go into this mood or into that mood and so on. It may be. Especially if they make offense, because what mood they're supposed to go into, they can go down by, if someone makes an offense, then they can go into a lower rasa also. But we see that Srila Prabhupada has written in Upadeshamrita, this Krishna consciousness movement is going on under the supervision of Rupa Goswami. And then he has his followers and the group, the whole. Sanatana Goswami is also his follower. Though Sanatana Goswami is his guru, but Sanatana Goswami has great honor. So we cannot say that Sanatana Goswami is the follower of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami will say, I am the follower of Sanatana Goswami. But Sanatana Goswami will say like this. You have to, these topics are very delicate. Sanatana Goswami is the guru of Rupa Goswami. But he himself, he has the greatest respect for Rupa Goswami and glorifies him. So, but anyway, chief among the 6 Goswamis is Rupa Goswami. And our acharyas, they have used this phrase Rupanuga. Oh, it is not new. We say Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Surupaya Rupanuga Varayate. He is the best of the followers of Rupa Goswami. Rupanuga Vryuda Apa Siddhanta Dvanta Karine. He, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, is the one who destroys any Siddhanta which is against the line of the Rupanuga line. And since the time of Raghunath Das Goswami, at the end of Manashiksha Yukam, Sayutan Sri Rupanuga Hiyabavan Gokula Bane. Oh my dear mind, in the forest of Gokul, you should become Rupanuga and follow his group. And earlier in Manasiksha, Sarupam Si Rupam Saganam Yatasya Grajamapi. We have discussed in the 3rd verse of Manasiksha. Oh, and in the later we'll hear the verse Madisha Natatwe Brajavipina Chandram Bhajamane Swarim Tam Natatwe Tadat Tulasakitwe Tuladitam Vishakan Shikshali Vitarana Gurutwe Presaro Grinder Tatraksha Lalitara Titatwe Isparamana. Oh my dear mind, accept Radhika as your Swamini. And Vishaka Saki as your Shiksha Guru. And Lalita Saki as Radhika's best friend. Don't be directly related with Krishna. See that Krishna is the beloved of your Swamini Radhika. So everywhere in Manashiksha, only the instructions have been given to attain Radha Dasyam. So if a person is saying, we don't have to follow Manjus, this is fine. This is their samskar. They have that samskar of either no rasa or another rasa. And generally persons who are like this, they have no sanskar of rasa at all. Because if someone really was advanced and had a samskar of rasa, then in a very humble way, they would say, Madhurya-rasa is the highest, it's the best. But anyway, my impressions incline me to the Sakya Bhav, something like this. So generally persons who are making such arguments, they don't know anything. They are in complete ignorance of the history of our sampradaya, the teachings of our sampradaya, and the literature of our sampradaya. You know that Srila Prabhupada gave the Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction. And there it says, Vaikuntaj janito baram madhupuri tatra pirasotsavat prindara nyamudara pani ramanat tatrapi govadanaha radha kundam ihapi gokalapate premamrita plavanat koryada syavirajato giritate sevam viveki naka. Sevam viveki naka. Mathura is, that is Gokul, is higher than Vaikunta. And Vrindavan is higher than Mathura, Gokul. And Govardhan is higher than Vrindavan. And Radhakund is higher than the Govardhan. It's at Govardhan, but it's the highest place at Govardhan. So what intelligent, one Viveki, what intelligent person would not desire to serve Radha and Krishna on the bank of Radhakund? Then in the next verse, karmi vyaparato hare, it's described. The jnanis are better than the karmis. And the premi bhaktis are better than the jnanis. And the gopis are the best among all the prema bhaktas. So who will not want to take shelter and follow those gopis? Yesterday we quoted the verse spoken by Nandimukhi in Govinda Lilamrita. Viborapi sukarupa swapakasho pibhava shanamapi nahirada krishna yaditeswa pravahati rasa pushtin chid vibhuti ivesha shrayati na padamasam ka sakinam rasagya. Which person who understands rasa will not take shelter of the Sakis? If you understand rasa, you'll take shelter of the Sakis. This is there. And this verse is, though it's in Govinda Lilamrita, it is there in Ramananda-samvada. So we should think that Ramananda-raya spoke this in essential point to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu has empowered this in the heart of Rupa Goswami to Raghunatha, and it came to Krishnadas Kaviraj, and then it was written in Govinda Lilamrita. Otherwise it seems like anachronism, because obviously Ramananda-raya spoke to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu many years before Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Govinda Lilamrita. So we should see it in that way. So there, kasakinam rasagya. If someone understands rasa, then who could not take shelter of the Sakis? That means they must take shelter of the Sakis in Madhurya-rasa. So everywhere in the shastra, this point has come, that the Gaudiya line is Rupanuga. Perhaps you have read it. I have published translation and commentary of Gaudiya Darshan. Did you read Gaudiya Darshan? Little bit. You have to read it 10 times. From beginning to end, again and again. And then you can come to me and ask questions. So, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, our Gaudiya Sampradaya is a Rupanuga. So, every Rupanuga is Raganuga. But every Raganuga is not Rupanuga. That means that someone may be following the path of Raganuga Bhakti in Sakyaras, Vatsalya-rasa or Madhurya-rasa. Yes. There's no pure Dasarasa in Braja. So even if they're doing Raganuga Bhakti in Dasya, it's not pure Dasa, it's Dasa either mixed with some Sakya or mixed with some Vatsalya. So, every Rupanuga, follower of Rupa Goswami, is the Raganuga. But every Raganuga is not Rupanuga, because if you are in Ragamarg, but internally you are not following Rupa Manjari, then that is not Rupanuga. Many persons today, they try to make a very broad definition of Rupanuga. They say, well, Rupa Goswami said Vacho Vegam Manasakra. So if you are trying to control your tongue, then you are Rupanuga. But this is just cherry picking. Pick one verse from somewhere from Rupa Goswami. This is not. My Gurudev, he used to say that, because people are saying also, if you are following Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, then you are Rupanuga. But my Gurudev used to say that if you follow Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, then you are not Rupanuga. Why? Because there, every mood, Vaikuntha has been described, all the Dasa, Sakya, Vatsalya, every mood has been described in Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu. So, if you follow Ujjvala Nilamani, where only Madhurya-rasa has been described, then you will be Rupanuga. No. Why? Because there, 360 different Naika bhavs of Radharani have been described. So many different moods. So even then, you will not be completely Rupanuga. If you follow Vidagdha Madhav and Lalit Madhav, then you'll be Rupanuga. No. Because there, also, mainly the mood of Radharani has been described. But no one can be Radharani. No one can have Radhika's mood as their own bhav, except for Radhika. So if you follow Lalit Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav also, you'll not be completely Rupanuga. You'll be Rupanuga if you follow Karpandya Panjika Stotram, Chatu Pushpanjali, Gandharva Samprathanastakam, and especially Utkali Kavallari. Why? Because these are the poems where Rupa Goswami describes his own bhav. There, he's not focused on Lalita, Vishaka, and all the different moods, describing the glories of those moods. We'll have to know those things also. We'll have to know. Because they are Radha, Krishna, and the Sakhis, they're worshipable for us. So that's part of the Upasya Pariskriti. That means purifying our conception of the object of worship. Upasya Pariskriti. But to be Rupanuga, you have to do Upasaka Pariskriti. That means refinement of the conception of who you are. And so, for the Upasaka Pariskriti, Rupa Goswami Pad has manifested the poems which express Rupa Manjari's own mood. Raghunath Das Goswami is following Rupa Goswami. So, Raghunath Das Goswami has expressed the mood and the services of Rati Manjari. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, at the end of every single chapter, in Adi, Madhya, and Antilila, there, Rupa Raghunatha Pode, Rahumora Ash, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kohi Krishna Das. always aspiring for the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath. This Krishnadas is presenting, speaking this Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, Rupa and Raghunath means Rupa Manjari and Rati Manjari. So, if we want to really be Gaudiya, then one will have to be Rupanuga, following Rupa Goswami outwardly and Rupa Manjari inwardly. Otherwise, they are not fully Gaudiya. So, in Gaudiya Darshan, if someone wants to argue, then fine. Argue with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There he describes how Madhurya-rasa is the highest manifestation of prem, of the Seva-briti. Because just like a child is drinking the milk of the mother, exploiting the mother, taking the mother's blood, that is called Dohan Kriya. So when that Dohan Kriya, exploitation, is taken to the highest degree, then that is Madhurya-rasa. Because Krishna exploits the gopis more than anyone else. Kanta bhave nijanga diyā karna sevan. Because only in Madhurya-rasa, the entire body is offered in Krishna's service. And the more Krishna exploits the Dohan Kriya, the devotee, then the more bliss Krishna experiences and the more bliss the devotee experiences. Not like this world. If you are exploited in this world and you become angry, upset and think that this is a tyrannical oppression. But the spiritual world is the opposite of that. Even Krishna himself, he likes to be controlled. He likes to be conquered by prem. So in this world, everyone wants to be the winner. But actually, the greatest happiness is not in being victorious. The greatest happiness is being defeated. When Lord Varahadev was fighting with Hiranyaksha grabbed him. But every time he grabbed him, then he noticed that the Lord was outside of his grasp. Because he's aprameya, he's immeasurable. He's unlimited. But Krishna was running away from Mother Yashoda and she caught him and tied him up. But Krishna gets more pleasure from the love of Mother Yashoda than any devotee outside of Braja, and even many inside of Braja. Because Krishna, he likes to be controlled by love. So the greatest joy is not in being victorious, but being defeated. This is the nature of Braj. Braj makes everything upside down. Braja Prem makes everything in reverse. So actually victory becomes defeat and defeat becomes victory. So in Madhurya-rasa, there is the greatest exploitation of Krishna, of the devotee. So the devotee feels the greatest joy. And of all, in Madhurya-rasa, Radhika, her prem is the highest. And only Radhika can see the beauty of Krishna to the greatest extent that no one who is seeing Krishna's beauty, including Krishna himself, cannot see the beauty that Radhika's eyes see due to her love. And that Mahabhava of Radhika, it cannot be contained. It overflows from her heart into her body, and her whole body is Mahabhav Swarup. And then her body cannot contain it, and it spreads out. That is called Yavadashvai Vritti. And only those who are close enough to hear or see Radhika when she's meeting with Krishna, and that means only Manjaris. Then they become pervaded by that love and see the sweetness of Krishna by the influence of Radharani's love. And that vision of the beauty and sweetness of Krishna that cannot be seen by anyone else except for Radharani. which is transferred to the manjaris, that vision of Krishna, that darshan is called Gaudiya darshan. So who can have Gaudiya darshan? Who is Gaudiya? This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to give. It is so amazing. And so I think that there are many devotees, but they're not hearing. They're not hearing from a transcendental source. The transcendental source has the characteristic that that transcendental source has heard from a transcendental source. Who has heard? That is called parampara. So, if a person has not come and served Guru for many years, not any Guru, a Guru has actually heard directly from someone. Mahaprabhu has taught Rupa Goswami, Rupa Goswami taught Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Das Swami taught Krishna Das Kaviraj. So all these things you'll see in the writings of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishna Das Kaviraj, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, where there's an unbroken line, which is actually a srota parampara, where the message has been heard and transmitted, then you'll receive the correct conclusion. But if there was any mayik vyavadan or not maturity in the connection, in the srota parampara, then something will be missing. And when something is missing, then everyone is talking, but they're not transmitting the actual message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then, if they don't receive the message fully, then they will pass on an incomplete message to the next generation. And the next generation will pass on an even more incomplete message to the next generation. And so, in this way, yoga nashta parantapa. Krishna said then, the divine knowledge becomes lost. Even if the parampara, so-called parampara, is still there, but the actual knowledge has been lost. Yesterday or the day before, we discussed the verse, Yasya satsangati pungsa manava sat satad guna sakuladhyai tito dhiman swayutyan eva sangsrayet, that our consciousness is like a crystal. So, if we associate with the Vaishnava, who is relishing Madhurya-rasa, then by that association, our heart, which is like a crystal, will receive the samskaras, the impressions of that rasa. And then one will have taste in it. Rati vasanaya swadhi vasate kapi kasyachit. One's inclination to one rasa or another rasa depends on the vasana. In the impressions that have come from sadhu sangha. And a person, in order to relish rasa, needs that vasana not only from this life, but from a previous life also. Praktanya aduniki chasti yasya sad bhakti vasana. Unless one has the impressions up to the stage of rati in this life and the previous life, then it's tameva bhakti rasasvadas tasaiva ridijayate. It is not possible to do the rasaswadan or relish rasa in this life. So, those who are attracted to Madhurya-rasa, there is a possibility that they have some sanskar from last life or this life. Not necessarily, because some person may be just like an intellectual and they read a book theoretically and they read, oh, Madhurya-rasa is the best one. Okay, that's me. So just because someone chooses the Madhurya-rasa doesn't mean they have samskar. But someone who really has tastes in that katha, they'll have some sanskar from a previous life. But if someone, they don't have a taste in this, then it is because they have no sanskars, or they have they may have some other type of sanskar by associating with Vaishnavas in a previous life. Maybe they associated with some Vaishnavas of the Sri Sampradaya in a previous life. So they have some impression of Vaikuntha, bhakti to Lakshmi Narayan in Vaikuntha, or Lord Nrsimhadev, or any other Vaikuntha Murti. Like this. So, but for someone to make a categorical statement that the Gaudiya Sampradaya, the essence is not Madhurya-rasa, it's wrong. But it's okay to say that it may be that some persons, they are attracted to other rasas, that's fine. But that is not really Gaudiya. Gaudiya, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that the followers of Vishnu are called Vaishnav. The followers of Krishna are called Karshnas. And the followers of Radharani, her name, because one name for Radharani is Gauri, or Gaudiyas. So the Gaudiyas are the devotees of Radharani. And he said, and in Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, in this Gaudiya line, we are Rupanuga, and that is the Manjari system. the process of following the Manjaris. You can see this. If you ask for evidence, then you can go on all day, even just from the books that Srila Prabhupada translated. Madhya-lila, chapter 8, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Gopi anugatya bina aishwarya gyane, bhajale nahi pai brajendra nandane. Without being in the anugatya of the Braj Gopis, how can someone attain Brajendra Nanda, the service of Krishna in Braja? He won't be able to overcome Aishwarya, the big obstacle of the mood of opulence. So, the Ramananda-samvada is so wonderful because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just asked this question to Ramananda Rai. What is sadhya? What is the goal of life? And what does Ramananda Rai say? Dasaras? He mentions it. But what does Mahaprabhu reply? Hey, this is okay, but tell me something more. Vatsalya-rasa. This is okay, but tell me something more. Madhurya-rasa. Oh, no. Once he gets to the Sakya-rasa, he said, Eho Uttam, this is great. This is highest, but still tell me something more. Vatsalya, again, tell me more. Madhurya, yes, this is Uttam, but tell me something more. He was not satisfied until he came to the Radha Bhav. Then he was very happy. But then Ramananda Rai, he said, oh my Lord, there's something else. They have not said yet. Ramananda said, I don't think that anyone has ever spoken beyond this. Ramananda said, yes, there's something. It's called Prem Vilas Vivarta. And then he described the Prem Vilas Vivarta of Srimati Radharani. And then Mahaprabhu said, oh, this is the highest goal of life. This is the highest goal of life. So, the point here is that Mahaprabhu said, what is the goal? It's his opinion. What is the goal? That is Radhika's bhav. But there are only two categories of persons who can experience it. Radhika and the Manjaris. So it cannot get more clear than this. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu himself, he keeps saying, keep going, and he does not stop until then. This mood of Radhika is the highest. And then he says, Sadhya vastu sadan bina keho nahi paye, kripa karo kaharai pavar upay. Now I know what is the supreme goal of life, but no sadhya, no goal can be attained without taking up the appropriate sadhana. So now kindly explain to me, by your mercy, you kindly explain to me what is the sadhana to attain this sadhya. And then Ramananda describes Gopi Anugatya, that you have to be in the Anugatya of Braj Gopis. So if anyone wants to know for Gaudiyas what is the supreme goal and the method to attain it, you can refer them to Ramananda-samvada. This is why in our Chaitanya Academy, we put a great emphasis. First, know Dasmul Tattva. That is all Mahaprabhu's teachings in just a summary. 10 points. And then know Das Aparad. 10 types of offense to the holy name. Because without the holy name, you cannot realize anything. And then Sanatan Shiksha. Sanatan Shiksha is all actually Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojan. But there's a lot of emphasis on Sambandha Gyan. And Rup Shiksha and Ramananda-samvada. Because this is Gaudiya. To be a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means to follow these things. And Shikshastakam, of course. The three main poems for practical life, Upadeshamrita, Manashiksha and Shikshastakam. You cannot read Upadeshamrita and come to the conclusion that, no, we should not want to serve Radha and Krishna on the bank of Radhakund. Because very clearly, this is the Upadesha Saram, the essence of all teachings. Upadesha Amrita. It's the essence of all teachings. And that's the teaching. Can anyone deny it? So, someone may have another mood. But they are Bahiranga. Understand? They can be, yes, I'm in this Gaudiya Sampradaya, but they're Bahiranga, they're outsiders, they're not insiders. Swarupa Gosai Prabhur Ati Antaranga Tahete Janena Prabhur Esaba Prasanga. Swarup Gosai, that is Swarup Damodar Goswami, Prabhur Ati Antaranga. He is the Antaranga, internal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Tohete Janena Prabhur Esaba Prasanga. Therefore, he knows all of these topics. Rup Shiksha, Sanatan Shiksha, Ramananda-samvada, all the inner moods of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore in Manashiksha says, Surupam Srirup, if you want to be the Gaudiya, the Antaranga of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then you must follow Swarup Damodar Goswami. That is Lalita Sakhi. So, in a general sense, someone may say, yes, you are in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But they are Bahiranga. And Bahiranga of Bahiranga. Gaudiyas are Antaranga. Understand? So, to be Antaranga, then you have to be the Swayuta Asrit, in the shelter of the Yuta. Jai Sisi Guru Gauranga Gandharva Girdhari Sisi Radhasham Sundaju Ki Jai. They are, their vesh is manifesting anurag. The reddish colors, this means anurag. Yesterday it was green, feeling of separation. Today, anurag. That means Radha Krishna see each other. Na adi na anta viharako do priya laume bhaina chinari. Even though Radha Krishna are meeting together again and again with no beginning or middle or end, but they don't recognize each other. Oh, who is that boy? Who is that girl? Because they look so new. This is anurag. So Radha Krishna in anurag, all their cloth is red, and by Yavadashray Vritti, everything around them also became. Darshan of the deities is not just getting some binoculars. It has to be Madhurya. You can have Aishwarya Darshan. Oh, Bhagavan has appeared. Let me worship him with the 5 elements. Earth in the form of incense, and fire in the form of a deep, and air in the form of the fan and the water. No, this is Aishwarya Darshan. But then there's Madhurya Darshan. Relishing from the Sringar and from the Vesh of Radha and Krishna, how it's the manifestation of their bhavs. Acha. Oh, so what are we saying? Yes. So, real Gaudiya means Antaranga actually. And others, they are not really in this, they are on the outside. So, you can only become Antaranga by associating with Antaranga. If you associate with the Bahiranga, then you learn how to be very perfect Bahiranga. So try to be in high class, Tattvavit, Brajrasik, Rupanuga Vaishnav Sangha, and make your heart one with the heart. Swayuta Asrit, be in the shelter of the group. What is the group? Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is Naina Mani Manjari. Gokishodas Bhavji Maharaj is Guna Manjari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Kamal Manjari. Jagannath Das Babaji is the Rasik Manjari. So, in this way, this is the group. Are you in the shelter of the group or something else? So one should consider these things and have a great greed. Yesterday we sang the song. Paramoyananda Shakala Miliya Radhika Charna Rabo. I will come together with great bliss with the whole group. Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Lalita Saki, Vishaka Saki. This is the youth, the whole group. What bliss is there in being a member of this group? So, if we hear from someone who is really a member of that group and has realization, just by hearing, some greed will come. Yes, I want this. And to attain it, do or die. When Rupa Goswami Pad describes sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha is one anga of bhakti. What's the definition of sadhu sangha? Sajata yashaye snigde sadhu sangha swatovare. Every being with any sadhu is not sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha means being with a sadhu who is realized in the mood that we want in our heart. So if you want to be Antaranga and in Madhurya-rasa, it's only sadhu sangha if you associate with the sadhu who has that mood. Associating with others in different moods who are Bahiranga is not sadhu sangha, according to the definition of Rupa Goswami Pad. Sajata yashay. Ashay means the innermost region of the heart. Ashay, the place where all the vasanas are resting. So one who has the same mood and aspiration and goal as you is sajataya. Sajatayashay snigde. And with affection and vara, they should be more advanced. Much more advanced than ourselves. It will also not be sadhu sangha if they're on the same level or less. They have to be significantly more advanced than ourselves, in the same mood and full of affection for us. If no affection, then the benefit will not come so strongly. Bimala Vaishnava Rati Upajibe Vasana Hoi Bhikshin. Oh, when will I have a deep love and affection for a pure Vaishnava? And by that attachment to that Vaishnava, then the basanas, the samskaras of the material world, they'll be diminished down to nothing. Why? Because they'll be replaced. They'll be overwritten with a new transcendental samskaras, Krishna Seva Vasana, of the one particular mood of service. So you should understand the subject in this way. Is it clear? Yes? Yeah. Gaur Premanande.